On Monday, May 26th, we are going to be experiencing one of the most potent new moons of 2025. The reason why Monday's new moon is going to be so powerful is because not only will we have the moon in the sign of Gemini, but it will also be conjunct the sun in the sign of Gemini and Mercury, which will also be in Gemini as well. We're going to have a triple conjunction all in the sign of Gemini. And what makes this new moon even more powerful is because Mercury will be in its home sign. And this is going to really usher in some sort of intellectual breakthrough for you. Any thoughts that you might have had or any new projects that you could have started within the past week will now have some sort of intellectual breakthrough. If you've been working on a book, if you've been working on a podcast, if you've been working on a YouTube channel, something that involves communication will begin to go through a major transformation and a major breakthrough starting on Monday. The sign Gemini is all about our intellect, our mind. It's all about communications. It's all about social things. This major breakthrough that you could have something to do with social media as well. If you're a content creator, you could all of a sudden have a great idea that goes viral. You could also have a great idea for a product or a service that could turn into a major business as well. Pay attention to your thoughts this weekend and anything that you might even think about during the beginning of this week. Monday will really initiate this breakthrough for you, but it will go into next week where you will have this intellectual breakthrough. Another example of what could happen would be if you work for a company and you are able to start a new project that involves communications. Maybe you get some sort of major recognition for this as well, and it allows you to have some sort of breakthrough at work. Another reason why this new moon is going to be so potent and transformational, because it's going to be very tightly trine to Pluto in Aquarius, as it's currently at 3 degrees. And this triple conjunction that we're going to be having in the sign of Gemini is going to be between 2 and 6 degrees of Gemini, making it a really tight trine. And this is going to bring more of a positive transformation in this as well. Think intellectual breakthroughs. Think coming up with an idea that transforms the way you work, transforms the way that you communicate. You might also find that your thoughts during this time undergo a major period of transformation and realization as well. You might find that you have new thought patterns or just new things that pop up in your mind's eye that begin to manifest as well. The other thing about having all this Gemini energy going on is that you might find that the ideas and thoughts that pop into your head around Monday could actually manifest in real life for you. You might also find that because this is going to be tightly sextile to Neptune in Aries and Saturn in Aries, you could have some sort of spiritual realization as well, because the planet Neptune is so tied to spirituality and creativity. You could have some sort of major realization or an intellectual breakthrough. This could also have something to do with a creative project as well. So if you've worked on something like a YouTube channel, a TikTok page, an Instagram page, or even if you work in a creative industry, you might have some sort of realization that allows you to project yourself into a new timeline with your career. Something major will be happening for you, and it will be majorly transformational as well. Think major intellectual breakthroughs. Think new ideas for projects, new ideas for podcasts, YouTube channels, social media platform ideas. Something that will really help you put yourself on the map, and it will also really set the stage and be kind of like the shadow period that we're going to have before we experience some more major transits throughout 2025. Pay attention to the ideas that pop in your head during this time as well. Any of the ideas that you have really set the stage for a new time period in your life where you'll be projected into a brand new timeline and allow yourself to reach your higher purpose. You might also find that anything you start around this time period as well will come in fast and furious. It'll come in extremely rapidly. And that is because as soon as we have the new moon in Gemini, the week prior to that, we are going to have so much Aries and Gemini energy going on in the sky. Most of the energy with our planets is going to be either in an air or fire sign in the week after the new moon in Gemini. So you could find that things start picking up the pace. It'll be like this one thing comes in for you and everything kind of falls in line right after that, very fast, very rapidly, and it'll just be like you blink and your life changes very quickly. That's kind of what goes on when there's a lot of Gemini and Aries energy going on in the sky. When you think about the two signs of Gemini and Aries, they're very, very fast paced. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So the fact that we're going to have Neptune in Aries and Saturn in Aries, it's going to bring in this new period of your life very fast, and it's going to initiate this new chapter for you as well. And Gemini energy, Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury, and Mercury is the fastest moving planet in the solar system. Mercury is also an air sign. So when you think about the personification of air, it is very fast fast moving. It is very quick. So when you combine the two energies, and especially because we're going to have this triple conjunction on the new moon on Monday, it's going to come in very fast, very rapidly. And be ready, because you're going to have this idea and then it's going to initiate and come in very fast, especially because we are going to have Saturn at 0 degrees of Aries really for this first week. And it'll also be at 0 degrees of Aries during the new moon in Gemini, because it will just enter the sign of Aries that Saturday on the 24th. It's going to come in fast. It's going to initiate a new chapter for you, and it's going to bring in more rapid success for you as well. Again, pay attention to the ideas that you have around Monday. Pay attention to the thoughts you have this weekend. If you want to start a new project on a whim, if you have an idea that pops into your head for a new business, now is a really great time to act upon it, especially because this new moon is going to really allow you to initiate that new chapter in your life. And especially because Saturn will be at 0 degrees of Aries, which is an initiation degree, a beginning degree. It's going to initiate this new chapter of your life fast and furious. Again, think very extremely fast. And then the week after, we're going to have a lot of planets either in air or fire signs, and primarily Gemini and Aries energy going on, which is going to be so fast paced. So think you'll have this idea and then you're going to initiate it and put it into place, and then watch your life transform and unfold throughout the next 20 years. This again is more like initiation. It's going to be fast paced. You're going to blink and it's just going to happen for you. Now, in order to find how this is going to affect you personally, I'm going to go through all of the rising signs so you can gain a better picture of how this will affect you personally. But be sure to check your sun, moon, and rising sign to get a full picture of how this will affect you. If you're an Aries rising, you might have a major breakthrough with some sort of intellectual project that you're working on. If you've recently started posting more on social media, maybe you made a YouTube channel, a TikTok, an Instagram page, something that will allow you to communicate and share your voice, you might have a major breakthrough with that beginning on Monday. You might have a viral video. You could be able to start trending on the internet. You might also find that with the focus on Aries energy as well during this time, this could have something to do with your appearance. You could dress differently than other people. You could stand out in a different way. There's going to be something about you, how you identify and how you appear to others that is going to allow you to initiate this new chapter in your life. You might also find that when you're posting on social media specifically, you might find that this is going to allow this to initiate for you. You might find that this new chapter will be started around social media and around communications, and your appearance will allow you to start this new chapter in your life. You might also have new ideas to start something around beauty. Maybe you have an idea to become a beauty influencer or somebody who reviews makeup on the internet. You could be somebody who begins to give more fashion advice on social media as well. Think something to do with your appearance, how you present yourself, who you are in this world. And that's going to allow you to have more of a breakthrough on social media. Something about the way that you present yourself. Again, your hair, your makeup, your wardrobe, something about that, and communicating that on social media or posting it in a blog post or sharing it on YouTube or another social media platform will allow you to really have this breakthrough. You might also find that with Pluto in Aquarius right now, this is really going to amplify your power and presence on social media platforms as well. And anything that you put out that will involve large groups of people, you are going to have so much power and visibility in that. Think breakthroughs on social media, breakthroughs on blog posts. You might even find that you could be chosen at work to be the person who delivers all the presentations to large groups of people as well, because they like the way that you present yourself. They like the way that you share information with other people. And you could even be somebody who does new business pitches, or somebody who's more of a face for their company, who shares their visuals and shares their voice in order to gain more profit for the company. You could be that type of person as well if you work for somebody. But think major breakthroughs with communication, social media, and really being able to tap into your power of reaching large groups of people at this time with Pluto and Aquarius, and using your appearance and the way other people perceive you in order to really achieve that. Taurus Rising, the new moon in Gemini on May 26th is going to allow you to have some sort of breakthrough with your finances. You might find that since about December or even January, you could have found a lot of transformation in your public public image and career. Maybe you decided to start posting on social media and becoming a content creator. Maybe you've decided to utilize your public image more and more often with your career. Maybe you have risen to a new level of power and visibility in your company. Maybe you got that management position, or maybe you're a vice president at your company now. You might even find that if you choose to go an untraditional route, you could be a content creator or a music artist or somebody who uses their appearance in the public eye and people know who you are. You're slowly becoming more and more of a public figure. And this major intellectual breakthrough for you that's going to happen on Monday is going to involve your finances. Maybe you decide to create a new money-making venture that will allow you to be more in the public eye, that will take your visibility and create a business around it. If you have been a content creator for a long time and now you're finally getting that major breakthrough with Pluto and Aquarius, maybe you start a fashion line or a makeup business or something that will allow you to increase your own profits. You might also find that this major breakthrough that you will have will also include your self-confidence. You have this breakthrough that will allow you to step into your real and true power and become a very more self-confident person. However, the thing about this new moon in Gemini for you, Taurus Rising, is that you might not be doing this with a lot of people. This might be something that you do individually by yourself. You might not be working with anybody. You just kind of do it alone. Maybe you have these ideas when you are all by yourself and even isolated in some way. And then you create this idea for a business, which then you bring to life, and you're able to really tap into your public image and who you are in the public eye in order to increase your earning power. Whether, again, it's a business, it's creating music, it's creating content, it's doing something that you can use your public image and share your voice with everyone. Gemini Rising. The new moon in Gemini on Monday, May 26th is going to give you more clarity and really just a better understanding of who you are as a person. How do you appear to other people? How do other people perceive you? And how you can really harness that energy in order to tap into large groups of people. You might have some sort of intellectual breakthrough about your appearance and really looking at yourself in the mirror to gain a full picture of exactly who you are and how other people perceive you. Once you have a better understanding of how other people perceive you and how you really want to view yourself, you might also view this through the lens of your networks. How do your networks see you? How do other people perceive you on social media? What kind of feedback are you getting from other people, and how you can use that new energy in order to grow your social media presence, in order to increase your visibility and really take your career to a whole nother level. And you could also have some sort of major breakthrough with this as well. Maybe you also look at yourself and fully understand yourself, and then you decide to change something about your appearance. You could have some sort of breakthrough like that where you begin to focus on the way that you appear, the way that you look. Maybe it's your hair color, the way that you dress, the way that you do your makeup, and how you can utilize that in order to increase your visibility and grow your presence in social networks. You might also find that the week after this, doors of opportunity are going to start to open for you, Gemini Rising. You could get invited to networking events or social events as well. And you might find that you could receive a sudden opportunity to go on a business trip or go fly across the country to go model for somebody or act in a TV show. Something like that is going to happen for you. Cancer Rising. The new moon in Gemini on May 26th is going to give you a major spiritual insight and clarity about who you are in the public eye. Very recently, you could have been more focused on your career and how you're seen in the public eye. Maybe you have begun to take a more untraditional route with your job and have become a content creator, have started your own business. Maybe you've decided to start doing music or something where other people see you in the public eye. Especially because Saturn will be entering the sign of Aries, you will find that you're going to start to take this a lot more seriously as well. And the new moon in Gemini that we're going to be having on the 26th is going to give you major spiritual insight and realization about how you want to be seen in the public eye, how you want to be perceived. You might also have some sort of paranormal experience as well during this time that will allow you to gain more insight into the person who you're going to be in the future, or more spiritual insight into what you really should be doing in your career. Pay attention to any angel numbers and signs from the universe as well. Pay attention to repeating numbers or just signs you see when you're driving down the street or walking down the street. The universe might start to push you into a different direction with your career, and you might also find, Cancer Rising, that this will be very spiritual for you. And once you really understand what you want to do and you have this major breakthrough, you might all of a sudden change your career or start a new business that will allow you to tap into other people's resources more efficiently. If you had been working a normal 9-to-5 job, maybe you have a major spiritual breakthrough and clarity to change the trajectory of your career into something where you're going to be able to increase your finances and even make more money in the long term. You might find that you start a business, you start a product line, you start doing music that allows you to tap into your image of who you are as a person and share it with the world, and then also be able to really increase your finances and become more self-sufficient than you were when you were working for someone else. Leo Rising, the Gemini New Moon on May 26th is going to give you major clarity and major breakthroughs as it pertains to your social networks and your group affiliations. You might have some sort of breakthrough on social media. Maybe you start having viral videos. Maybe you start trending on the internet. If you had previously been in the spotlight for whatever reason, you might find that again, you begin trending again. You might have some sort of breakthrough, put you back into the limelight. You might also find that something will happen that will cause you to be more popular amongst friends and be more popular amongst your social networks. And it could be some sort of major breakthrough that you will have, Leo Rising. You could find that all of a sudden something will happen in your life and you are very visible again. You might also find that at this time you could start attracting very powerful partnerships into your life. You might find that initially it could be more romantic partnership, but however, this could also include business partnerships or contracts with creative people that are very, very powerful. Again, maybe if you're a music artist, maybe you start going on tour more often and travel more often, and you start to have a major breakthrough with your presence around crowds, and you also get signed to like a major record label and develop major business partnerships at this time as well. For you, Leo Rising, you could also find yourself traveling in some way. Going back to my example of somebody who would be like a music artist, but you might find yourself traveling and creating more partnerships and having major breakthroughs with group affiliations, social media, and the people who you associate yourself with. You might find that you get an opportunity to travel across the country and build a partnership with somebody that will allow you to expand your social networks. You could also start getting invited to more parties with very powerful people, or just people who are very Plutonian as well. These people could be very powerful and very magnetic, and all of a sudden they could start entering your life, and you have some sort of major breakthrough with this as well. And travel could be a big part of it as well. Maybe you are living in one area and then have to travel to another area in order to make this happen. However, when you do, you're going to have some sort of major breakthrough that's going to allow you to step into a position of prominence and also expand your social networks in order to attract more powerful partnerships into your life. Virgo Rising, the new moon in Gemini on May 26th is going to allow you to have a major realization and clarity about your career. You could have had a lot of intensity currently with your work and even your health at this time. And you could find that you're starting to transform into a brand new direction of your life for your work. You might find that because of your health, you could start to transform your work in order to prioritize it. You might start working from home more often, or maybe you decide to start your own business so you can be by yourself and not surrounded with other people's energy. This major realization and breakthrough that you will have will be definitely tied to where you see yourself in your career, where you desire to be, where you want to be with your public image, where you want to be with your career in the long term. Do you want to keep working for somebody, or do you want to start your own business, start a product line, start your presence on social media, or do you want to start focusing on changing your work life in order to prioritize your mental health, prioritize your bodily health, and prioritize your well-being? You're going to start to find that you could receive more spiritual information during this time as well that will allow you to step into this new power that you'll have. You might also find that this is kind of like the shadow period for you, Virgo Rising, before you transform and you focus more on your social networks and you focus more on networking with people. You might also find that with the increase in focus on prioritizing your well-being and your health, you could decide to work a non-traditional job. You could have had more luck in the past year with your career. And now this breakthrough that you'll have is kind of like the shadow period you'll have before you start attracting these powerful people into your life. and before you start increasing your networks and increasing who you'll be in groups of people as well, you're going to find a major transformation coming in for you. Libra Rising, the new moon in Gemini on May 26th is going to bring you a major clarity and breakthrough with what you're doing with your career, where your career is going. Since about December or even January, you could have started a new creative project and you could have been working really hard throughout the spring on this. And now that we're in May and about to enter June, you might feel like that this is the shadow period right before you have some sort of major breakthrough with your career. You're about to enter a period of your life where you're going to be seen. People are going to know who you are. They're going to know your name and they're going to know your face. And they're going to see you in your public image throughout all of 2025 and into 2026. You might also find that this breakthrough that you're going to have is going to be a lot more intellectual than anything. Maybe you start to focus more on what other projects you're doing with your career. Are you doing more content? Are you making a TV show? Are you posting more on social media? Or are you making music? What are you doing with entertainment and being in the spotlight and your own creativity that will allow you to step into this new time period of your life between 2025 and 2026 where you're going to be more visible? Did you increase your social networks? Are you doing more with art? You might find that you have some sort of major realization and breakthrough as it pertains to your creative project specifically. And you might also find that during this time period, you could also have some sort of breakthrough as it pertains to your partnerships. Since about April, you could have started focusing on finding a partnership that will allow you to really expand your creative gifts as well. Maybe you find a new business partner that will help you create something and really tap into your innermost talents as well in order to make this happen. Are you looking for somebody who's like a photographer or a videographer or a graphic designer? Maybe you're looking for a video editor or somebody who will help you take your art to the next level. You might find that at this time you could become more obsessive about finding these partnerships in order to make your dreams come true and all the things that you've been working on since about December or January and turn them into reality. This breakthrough for you is going to be more about the calm before the storm that's going to start to happen for you in June. And you're going to find that you're going to have some sort of intellectual breakthrough. It's not necessarily going to be super tangible, but you're going to have like a breakthrough as it pertains to your career. And it's going to set the stage for the shadow period that's about to happen for you when you step into this new timeline and step into this new chapter of your life. Scorpio Rising, the new moon in Gemini on May 26th is going to be the initiation of a brand new chapter of your life that is going to bring in major transformation around your work life. You could have been working really hard at work recently. You could have been overworking yourself, working long hours, and you could find that there has recently been kind of a change with your coworkers and your relationship with your boss as well. You could find that you are trying to be more and more in the spotlight and have more visibility at work and gain more credit for the things that you do. And you might find that you're starting to have more of like a power struggle with authority figures at the place where you work. Maybe they don't want you to have any visibility. Maybe they want to take credit for the things that you're doing. You might find that you could also have some intensity with your coworkers as well during this time. And all of this could start to really impact your mental health. And you might find that you're having these power struggles around authority figures and your coworkers and like this tension there because you're ready to step into that next chapter of your life where you're ready to lead others and have more autonomy and visibility. And it can be kind of difficult. You might find that other people don't necessarily want to put you up there, that you might find that there's this intensity and struggle with like how other people want to perceive you and who you know you are. And you might find, again, this could be impacting your mental health in some way. And this breakthrough that you'll have is going to really transform you. You might all of a sudden have all these feelings bubble to the surface and you're like, oh, I understand why I feel this way now. And you might even tap into things like astrology or tarot or something like that in order to guide you. Something occult themed might help you gain more clarity about what's going on in your life. Again, maybe you might focus more on astrology in order to kind of figure out what's happening for you. And you in particular, Scorpio, this is really going to be setting the stage for the next 2 years for you. You might find that in your work life, you want to lead people. You want other people to see you as a a leader, and you might also naturally lead people as well. You might naturally always initiate and start things. And you might find that you want to be in a position where other people see you in the limelight and see you as a leader as you are. And you might know that deep down inside, you have this power to outshine people as well. However, again, the people around you could be trying to hold you back in some way, or you take 2 steps forward and they try to push you down and say, no, you can't do that. Like, you know, you might find it's more about not necessarily you, it's just like the other people around you. And especially with Mars in the sign of Leo now, you might really start to feel the effects of like power struggles with people who you work with. And this could be like some sort of like initiation of something that's going to happen for you as you transform into this next chapter of your life. You could decide to change jobs. You could decide to be self-employed or start your own business. You might find that you're going to transform out of this, and Monday is going to be more like the initiation of this transformation in Scorpio Rising. It's just going to start it for you, and then everything's going to just kind of go into place after that. Sagittarius Rising, during the new moon in Gemini on Monday, May 26th, you might have some sort of clarity or breakthrough with your partnerships. Very recently, you could have been very focused on social media. Like, you could have decided to transform and really make that your entire job, or just have a lot of focus there. You could be a social media influencer or a content creator, or you could be somebody whose entire job is social media for your company. You could be a communication specialist, and you could help primarily with social media and building your presence for your company. And you might find that you have really been in your creative energy recently, and it's gonna start becoming more and more a big part of what you do. You might find that creativity and creating things, you're gonna start to take a lot more seriously, as you might start to see the value in what creativity does for creating content or creating something involving communications. And this breakthrough for you specifically might attract new partners into your life that will allow you to really be the person who you are meant to be. You might start to attract people who might teach you new things with the editing tools, might even create partnerships with graphic designers or new business partners. If you're a social media content creator, you might find that you start to partner with people more or other creators and create content together. You might find that you do that specifically. You might also find that you start attracting business partnerships in your life as well. You could start your own business that you share on social media, and then you partner with another company in order to create advertisements or do something else with your company or your brand in order to make things really happen for you. You might also find that this major breakthrough or realization that you might have might, again, really affect your partnerships. This is going to be attracting people into your life to help you achieve the things that you want to achieve. And you might even find that these are creative people who will help you as well. Maybe this is a photographer, maybe this is a photo editor, or even somebody who is like a music producer as well. This could be somebody in your life that will come in and help you achieve exactly what you want. Capricorn Rising, the new moon in Gemini on May 26th is going to bring you a major breakthrough with your work life. You could have recently been a lot more focused on how to make more money, how to increase your finances, how to create something that will bring a very steady flow of income towards you. You might have an idea for a business, a product, or you could start to make music, make content, make entertainment for people. You might start to try to transform your own resources and also become very self-sufficient. You could become more obsessed about having autonomy over everything you do, and you might even want to have your own brand. You might find that the breakthrough that you'll have on May 26th will be predominantly around your work life. It might bring some sort of clarity in exactly what you need to do if you really want to have a very successful business. You yourself might be a lot more focused on having your own autonomy and having your own business and increasing your own personal finances at this time. And this breakthrough, again, will be more intellectually based, but you'll be like, oh, this is what I need to do in order to really increase my profit margin. This is what I need to do if I want to be successful. This is how I become successful. You might find that this has a lot to do with communications as well. So you might all of a sudden have an idea to post on social media. You could have an idea to start a podcast. Something that involves communications and talking is going to be very critical in this as well. And you might also have some sort of major realization or breakthrough about your home life. Maybe you yourself are really ready to have your own house. Maybe you've been in a kind of like a chaotic environment and you're like, now is the time that I need to get my own apartment. Now is the time I need to save to buy a house. And you could start to feel like you need to start taking your home life a lot more seriously as well. So you might start to create another revenue stream for yourself in order to make this a reality. You might start looking at the housing costs, like wherever you live, and realize, okay, for a down payment on a house, I need to have X amount. And you might start coming up with a side hustle or a new business project that will allow you to achieve that. You might also have some sort of intellectual breakthrough around your work life and realize, I need to be more self-sufficient. I can't necessarily just have a job where I work for somebody else. If I want to make X amount, so I'll have a down payment on a house and I'll be able to be very self-sufficient and be able to support myself totally and completely financially. Again, this could involve having a podcast, posting on social media. It could also involve some sort of business. You might decide to move away for working for a company full time, and you could decide to become a consultant as well. That could come in for you very fast, Capricorn Rising. It's going to be more focused on taking your home life seriously and home ownership very seriously. And you're going to find that in order to do that, you might need to increase how much you make. And the only way to do that is going to be through this intellectual breakthrough that you have with your work life starting on Monday. Aquarius Rising, the new moon in Gemini on May 26th is going to have a lot to do with your creativity. What projects have you been working on recently? Because those projects are going to give you a major breakthrough. You might find that you could have had a lot of attention on who you are in the spotlight, who you are as a person. People could really be liking the way that you look right now as well, and you could find that your appearance alone could have a ton of influence. You might find that people are starting to make edits of you online, or you could find your photos on Pinterest or trending on the internet. You could be somebody whose photos are just popping up in people's news feeds and they're like, oh, this person is really cute. This person is really X, Y, and Z. I like this person. You can find that this has a lot to do with social media, a lot to do with just how other people perceive you and your appearances. And you might have some sort of major breakthrough with your creativity. And it could be like, okay, you're seeing all these things happen. You see yourself trending and you're like, what else do I do? And you might start having these ideas to make YouTube videos or more TikToks or post more photos on Instagram or Pinterest or some other social media platform that will really allow you to tap into this energy and make the most of it. And remember, Aquarius Rising, this transformational period for you with your appearance and how other people perceive you is going to give you a lot of power over the next 20 years. And this new time period for you might really initiate how you are creating content on social media and how you can really tap into your appearance and the way other people perceive you in order to be very successful during this time period. You could find that a lot of people could be sharing photos of you or making edits of you, or you could also find that your appearance is really influential. And you might, again, start to have this major breakthrough with how you create content, how you want to appear to others, and how other people see you. You might also find that people really are just gonna really like anything that you share. You might find that you just post once and it goes viral because people might not necessarily be talking about what you're posting. They could instead be talking about how you're dressing or what you're doing with your makeup or your hair, and because they find you so influential. Aquarius Rising, again, you could be very, very influential during this time, and you might find that with this influence that you now have, it's going to really set the stage for what you're going to be doing over the next 20 years, how you're going to be sharing yourself on social media, and how you can use your own creativity in order to really get there. Pisces Rising, the new moon in Gemini on May 26th is going to allow you to have some sort of breakthrough with your living environment. You could have very recently felt like you needed to move away from kind of being around a lot of people all the time. You might not necessarily want to live in a super highly populated and dense area. And this breakthrough and realization that you could have starting on Monday might allow you to move to a more rural population or just a little bit farther away from people. And you might also find that a big part of this is not necessarily to escape the public attention from people or just escape from being around people, but to increase your finances. You might find that moving to a less populated area will give you an opportunity to save more money and also make more money at the same time. You could decide to move into a rural area and start a business, and you might have more of an online business in order to protect your energy from other people, but also really have the space and time to just really be able to create what you want to create, and then other people will just see it or purchase your product or watch your content. You could find that something like that is coming in for you, Pisces Rising, where you're going to have this major breakthrough and realization with your home life. Again, maybe you're not in the best situation right now and you want to change living environments in order to feel better. Again, maybe you might even be in too highly densely populated of an area, and you might find that in order to feel fully and totally and completely like yourself, you might decide to move away. Some sort of major breakthrough and realization is going to happen around home life as well. You could find that you want to have a family and you might start to take steps in order to make that happen. You might start a side hustle or something in order to save money in order to start a family. You could have that sort of realization or breakthrough as well, Pisces Rising. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post new videos every single week.